We fixin' to make this town real smoking.
I will say at the very beginning, Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was an amazing game for me. I played Tekken Tag Tournament 2 since it came out all the way up until Tekken 7 came out, almost every single day. But also, even though I loved the game and I hold it very dear to my heart, there was just some harsh realities that I had to accept. And some of those realities I want to discuss in today's video. This is something that is undoubtedly the biggest factor when talking about Tekken Tag Tournament 3. A list of all the sales, Tekken 7 is the undisputed king. Now, by the way, this is a little bit outdated. Tekken 7 hit 10 million. This is dated June 2022. And then all the way at the bottom, the worst selling Tekken of all time, Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Now, a lot of people put the blame on marketing. I was doing a live stream and someone said they didn't even know about Tekken Tag Tournament 2 until they watched a main man video. So I think there is some truth to that. But also, there is the Art of Tekken book that I want to talk about and I want to read after these tweets from Harada. Because I think it's a great addition to the book, and it also you can see why Harada is saying what he's saying. Not just what he's saying, but why he's saying it. The topic is focused on Pokken Tournament, but it translates to the tag mechanic, hence Tekken Tag Tournament 3. Pokken was truly an underrated game. Harada says, I don't think it's underrated because it's familiar to fans. Someone responds and says, not the greatest in terms of mechanics, but so much fun and refreshing to play a game from a series I love, with a genre I'd love to play and see expanded. Fingers crossed for a Pokken Tag Tournament. This is when Harada says the tag mechanism could be a bit of a maniac game. And this is where I want to get out the book. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. I got all the screenshots that I need, and I'm basically just going to read through these and just explain what happened. After Tekken 6, we were thinking what to do, Michael Murray says, and a lot of fan feedback was that they wanted another Tekken Tag Tournament. And we thought, okay, it's a good time. Michael Murray goes on to explain how every 3 games they do a tag game. Tekken 1, 2, 3, tag 1. 4, 5, 6, tag 2. And a lot of people expect 7, 8, 9 Tekken Tag Tournament 3. The part where I want to pick up, it says, one of the biggest challenges of Tag 1 was its expansive roster. Tekken 6 would aid the team this time around, as many of the character models have already been rendered for PlayStation 3. Here's a quote, and this quote is crucial to what happened with Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Any character fans were asking for, Harada put it in the game. He was like, I don't want to hear any complaints of so-and-so character is missing. Whether it was Jun Kazama or Angel, or some of these other characters we hadn't seen for a while, they were in. Even character skins, it was the biggest roster we ever had. This is something that the community always talks about, and I remember the last time where I talked about big rosters being problematic. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was the biggest reason possible why a big roster isn't necessarily best. There is a quote that says less is more. And also, too much of anything is a bad thing. And I think in terms of characters, that is true. But don't take my words for it. Let's read this. The fan base increased quite a bit with Tekken 6. It was quite popular because of the basic gameplay, and a lot of the models that came out on console version were popular as well. So a lot of people at the end of Tekken 6 hadn't actually played Tekken Tag Tournament 1. We didn't know this at the time. So they were used to using only one character, usually their favorite. And granted, I'm not talking about people who go to tournaments. We're talking about just your average gamer. This paragraph is pretty important because it compares itself, the comparison that I want to draw is to Tekken 7. Tekken 7 brought in a lot of new people to the Tekken franchise. And a lot of those people they only know Tekken 7's gameplay. They only know rage arts, rage drives, anything besides what Tekken 7 is. It kind of was the same thing with Tekken 6. The book goes on to say, this meant no matter how many characters they were offered, most Tekken 5 and Tekken 6 players were proficient with only one of them. And for whatever reasons, Tag 2 players felt that solo mode wasn't viable. But this attitude meant double the characters, which meant double the learning curve. and it only got steeper from there. The fans, it turned out, did not relish in learning the many intricacies and nuances of the game as much as the team enjoyed creating them. This is something we hear from like the main man, JDCR, is how the game had too much to learn. You know, if main man and JDCR are saying there was too much, then you know it was too much. There's just so much to learn about the game, because even if you have one characters, there's still so much to learn about the game. Getting up off the ground, wall combos, move properties, sidestepping, there's just so much to learn about the base game. There was just too much when we added the tag mechanics. There were just so many gameplay mechanics geared toward the hardcore Tekken fans that I think was off-putting to some newcomers of the series, and also people who didn't play Tag 1. This is where we start seeing some of the cracks form, with too much characters, too much to learn, too much to experience. And you can see with Tekken 7 and also Tekken 8, they're learning from this and they're dumbing the game down, or they're simplifying it a lot. Here's where they talk about the lack of game modes. I bet you guys weren't expecting that. And because we spent so many resources on that main portion of the game, there weren't as many side modes as we had throughout the series comparatively. Side modes were a feature that console players, now a vast majority of the Tekken audience, had come to expect, and one that kept them coming back to the game. See, the Tekken developers understand how important the game modes are. Inside Bandai Namco, the team knew that they had made a terrific game. The veterans of the team loved it. The most dedicated fans loved it. Skipping down, it says, the lower than expected sales of the game were a devastating blow. The weight of the brand and the company bottom line mattered more than all else, even the quality of the game itself. The mass appeal was quality, and it was missing from Tag 2. Mass appeal means appealing to the casual audience, which is something that Tekken 7 did a lot and Tekken 8 is only doing further of. And the reason why Tekken 8 is taking it a step further is because of how successful Tekken 7 was. Tekken Tag Tournament 2, they made a game for the hardcore players. You had great movement like everyone loves. You had very in-depth combos and combinations. You had everything that hardcore players yearned for. The only thing that was missing was game modes, but you had characters, you had combos, you had movement, and even the competitive players say it was too much. In Tekken 7, they stripped a lot of that depth out. They removed it, and Tekken 7 ended up being the best-selling Tekken of all time. And then now in Tekken 8, you would only imagine they would strip back more because of how it worked. If something works, you're going to continue to do it. With reading this, you can see why they're doing the things that they're doing. It's not just because they woke up one day and said, let's change Tekken. The numbers is what they're following, the statistics. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was for the hardcore players and it did not perform. Tekken 7, they tried to make it appeal to the masses. And what happened? The masses showed up. 10 million copies sold. Michael Murray says that was disappointing, talking about how low the game sold. But when the team looked towards the future of the franchise, they were forced to take a step back. What made the game popular for Tekken 3, Tekken 5, or even Tekken 6? All of the elements of the things they learned from Tag 2 kind of formed the basis for our decisions for Tekken 7. Even or perhaps especially the thing that didn't stick. And as far as hindsight, it looks like it proved to be the right direction. You see what I mean? That concludes this section on the book that focuses on Tekken Tag Tournament 2. And going back to Tekken Tag Tournament 3, I think once they do get there right after Tekken 9, they will tackle it a little bit differently. They probably won't flood the game with 60 characters. Maybe they will just treat it like a normal Tekken game and put 30 characters in the game. But then also too, maybe they won't make the balancing and the combos and all that stuff so chaotic. Maybe, once again, they will just make it like a normal Tekken game and not go so over the top. In my opinion, that is really what killed Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Not the marketing, not any of that other excuses. I think, simply put, they tried to make Tekken Tag Tournament 2 everything a hardcore player would want, and the casuals went far away from the game as possible, and even the hardcore players didn't really like the end product. So that's it. Let me know what you guys think about this video. I know this is going to be kind of controversial. This is kind of tough to hear when we're talking about things that we love, but it's the truth. You know, the proof is in the pudding. Numbers do not lie. And in this video, I just want to talk about it because I think it's important. It gives us some insight to Tekken 8, Tekken 7, Tag Tournament 2, Tekken Tag Tournament 3. With that being said, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, but that's it. Thank you for watching once again, and bye-bye.